ever just walk into a room, and like instantly feel the tension before anyone even says anything? Or like maybe you're scrolling through social media and all of a sudden your mood just like dips and you're like, wait, what just happened?
You can't put your finger on it.
Yeah. And that's actually what we're diving deep into today.
It is.
You guys asked us to explore this whole idea of how we are subconsciously connected and influenced.
Right.
And thanks to Peter Hatherley's work, The Mirror Neuron Effect.
Fascinating book.
Yeah. We've uncovered something pretty remarkable. And it turns out it's not just like a concept. It's literally wired into our biology through these things called mirror neurons.
Right. And I think what's really interesting about that is we tend to think of brain cells as being in the brain.
Right.
But as the book illuminates, these things are actually throughout your nervous system, influencing everything from your spinal cord to, believe it or not, your heart and emotions.
Okay.
It's much more pervasive than I think we might have thought.
Okay. So our mission today, as we explore the mirror neuron effect, is to really understand how these hidden wires, as he calls them.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah, are shaping your daily experience. So like from those interactions with your loved ones to that endless scroll on your phone.
Yes. Yeah.
But even more importantly, we want to explore how you can actually take control of this mirroring process to shape your thoughts, your behaviors, and ultimately your future.
Because I think that's the big shift, is from being someone who is unknowingly influenced to someone who is shaping their internal world.
Yes. Okay, so just to kind of give you a roadmap of where we're headed in today's deep dive, we're going to look at the fundamental role of these mirror neurons, like how they essentially sync up and simulate the actions and emotions that we observe. We'll then explore how constantly and often, without us even realizing it, this mirroring is happening.
Yes, it's constant.
And then, given our digital lives, we have to dive into the impact of digital media on these neurons.
And we'll spend a good bit of time on that.
Yeah. And then we'll get into this concept of neural programming.
Right.
And how you can consciously take the reins. And this idea of mirrors of mastery, the way we learn through observation, which is really fascinating.
It is,
And we'll touch on the role of our environment, the power of visualization, and finally, the importance of our presence and nonverbal communication.
Yeah. All of this is connected.
It's going to be quite a journey.
It is a journey.
Yeah.
And I think you've laid it out really well.
So let's dive into the undeniable facts about mirror neurons.
Sure.
And I think just the sheer numbers of them are kind of staggering.
Yeah.
Over 86 billion neurons in your body.
Wow.
And within the motor cortex, over 1 billion.
It's amazing.
Right. And he emphasizes that they're not just passively processing information. They're involved in shaping who you are.
They are, yeah. And I think what is, as I was reading the book and preparing for this deep dive today, what's most fascinating is how far-reaching these neurons are.
Yeah.
I mean, they extend down into the spinal cord.
Oh, wow.
And believe it or not, they're even in your heart.
Really?
Think of your heart not just as a pump, but as an emotional antenna.
Wow.
Tuning in to the feelings around you thanks to mirror neurons.
So this explains why, like, you might physically flinch when you see someone else get hurt.
Exactly.
Or why tension can, like, fill a room like a thick fog before a single word is spoken.
Absolutely.
And why, we can feel empathy so deeply.
That's exactly right.
It's like our heart is not just this mechanical organ. It's an emotional reflector.
It is. And when you start to understand things through the lens of neuroscience, it really does shed light on why we have these, like, almost gut-level reactions and feelings. And I think that's the big takeaway, is that every reaction you have, every subtle shift in your mood or behavior, every choice you make is being mirrored in some way.
So we're constantly syncing with the world around us.
Constantly.
It's not just observing things happening. We are in a state of continuous absorption.
That's exactly right. And that's a crucial distinction, isn't it? That you are far from a passive observer.
Yeah.
Your brain and body are literally taking in every exposure, every reaction you witness, every bit of energy that comes your way.
And it's happening, as you mentioned, without our permission.
Yes.
Without a filter.
Yes.
It's just absorbent.
It's just absorbing. And I think what was really a bit unsettling for me as I was reading this and really thinking through it is that most people go through their lives completely unaware that this is happening.
Yeah.
They truly believe that their instincts, their behaviors, their feelings are uniquely their own.
Right.
But as Hatherley argues,
Yeah.
a significant portion of those are actually inherited through this very mirroring process.
And that's a huge point.
It is a huge point.
And, even just like the way you speak, the way you move.
Yes.
It's all been shaped by this.
Absolutely.
Without us realizing it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And he calls these unseen influences silent triggers.
I love that.
Yeah. It's almost like these virtual cameras that are recording every time you watch, listen to, or react to anything.
And they don't just record, they simulate.
They do, yeah.
Think about, a young child.
Yeah.
And they're mimicking their parents' facial expressions.
Yeah.
It's not just cute, right? Their brain is wiring itself
Right.
to reflect those emotions.
Absolutely. Or think about when you are watching a top athlete explode off the starting line.
Yes.
And even as a spectator,
Yeah.
your own neurons fire as if you are making that movement.
Wow.
So you feel a vicarious thrill
Yeah.
of that race.
Yeah.
It's that internal mirroring.
I get it.
Yeah.
So, it extends beyond just like physical actions.
Right.
When you observe like a skilled artist painting,
Yeah.
with this like precision,
Yes.
you absorb that sense of flow, like that
Totally.
rhythm.
Absolutely.
Or when you listen to a seasoned negotiator command a room,
Uh-huh.
with confidence in their voice,
Yeah.
your neurons are literally echoing that confidence,
Absolutely.
tuning your own sense of self-assurance.
It's amazing. And the reverse is true, too.
Oh, okay.
If you witness someone making choices driven by fear,
Uh-huh.
your neurons will mirror that anxiety,
Oh.
priming you, potentially,
Yeah.
to hold back or hesitate when you shouldn't.
So your brain's not a passive recording device.
No, it's not.
It's in a constant state of syncing and absorbing.
Constantly.
Wow. So it really just clarifies so much, like how children effortlessly pick up accents,
Yes.
mannerisms of their parents
Listen.
without any formal instruction.
Right.
They're constantly mirroring
Yes.
the way those adults walk, speak, and react.
Absolutely. And it's not just the big things.
Right.
It's those shifts in tone, the nuances of body posture, even their thought patterns.
And this is why, like, people who spend a lot of time together, they kind of start to sound alike.
Yes.
Their humor starts to converge.
Absolutely.
And even their posture starts to mirror each other.
Yes. And I think this is where it becomes a bit concerning when you think about individuals who aren't necessarily that focused or intentional in their lives.
Yeah.
They pick up bad habits because they aren't controlling what they're mirroring.
Right.
So they might unconsciously absorb the laziness, the self-doubt, negativity without even realizing it.
And those traits, they don't just become like habits, they become, deeply ingrained.
Absolutely. And Hatherley, he calls it out. He says, this is where people find themselves feeling stuck.
Yeah.
They're constantly mirroring distractions, succumbing to fear,
Right.
accepting excuses, sinking with passivity.
Yeah.
And they wonder why they aren't moving forward.
Yeah. You see these people, who are thriving.
Right.
They make these conscious choices about what and who they allow themselves to mirror.
Right.
They place themselves in environments, with the right people, the right content.
Absolutely.
They lock their neural mirroring onto the positive until their neurons adapt and reflect those qualities.
Yeah. And this is that big shift from unconscious mirroring to conscious selection.
Yeah.
Choosing to reflect the behaviors and the things you want.
Right.
And your subconscious mind is diligently taking note and rewiring itself.
So it's less about this battle of willpower.
Yeah.
It's about strategic exposure.
It is.
Right. If your neurons are constantly absorbing negativity and unproductive habits, trying harder might not be enough.
Right.
But if you are consistently syncing with, like, resilience, a growth mindset, it's like your mental clarity sharpens.
Yes.
Your actions align. Those old obstacles, they lose their power.
They do.
It's about understanding that your exposure
is shaping your internal landscape.
It is. And this goes to the core of why some people seem to just evolve and other people just stay the same.
Right.
And the people who are stuck, they're trying to change, but they're still unconsciously mirroring.
Yes.
And it's blocking your progress.
So if you're constantly surrounded by negativity and you unconsciously mirror that weakness, you're going to have an uphill battle.
You are.
But conversely, someone who seeks out and mirrors greatness almost ascends effortlessly.
You do.
So it's not about this struggle for growth.
Right.
It's about aligning yourself to
Yeah.
naturally sync with
Right.
the qualities you desire.
Yeah. And the thing is, your neural synapses aren't just copying.
Right.
They are rewiring you in real time.
Wow.
It's not just copying. It's integrating them
Right.
deep within your system.
And like forging those new neural pathways.
Forging them.
So if you're regularly mirroring a skilled negotiator.
You might notice your own tone of voice becoming steadier. You
Yes.
know, your pauses more deliberate
Right.
and impactful.
Absolutely.
If you're mirroring someone who is like a strategic thinker, you'll start approaching things with more foresight, more precision.
Yes. And if you're spending time with people who command respect with their presence, you'll see your own presence grow.
It's amazing.
It is amazing.
And if you're around competitors who display resilience, giving up might just start to feel like completely foreign concept.
Right, right. Because it's no longer in your system.
It's not even there.
Yeah.
So the big shift is taking control over what you are allowing yourself to sync with.
Yes.
So if you want discipline, mirror the disciplined. If you want confidence,
Yeah.
mirror the confident.
Associate yourself with it.
Yeah. If you want to be a leader, study leaders.
Yes.
So it's not about willpower.
Yeah.
It's about leveraging this mirroring process.
Right.
And, you know, he says the shift begins immediately because your brain is always mirroring something.
That's right.
So the question is who or what is shaping you?
Yes. And the thing about it is, if that makes you uncomfortable, the good news is you can change it right now.
And the second you shift what you're mirroring, the neurons fire in those new patterns.
Exactly.
The shift begins.
Yes.
And that evolution follows.
It's inevitable.
So, you know, we have to get into this whole digital world.
We do.
Right. Because this concept of mirroring, I think it gets
very real, doesn't it?
very real in this digital age.
Yeah.
The first chapter of the mirror neuron effect, he really dives into how digital media impacts these mirror neurons.
Yes.
And it serves as this powerful reminder, right?
Yes.
Every scroll, every tap, every second online.
Right.
It's not neutral.
No.
It's shaping who we are.
Yes. And the way he puts it is your feed is brain programming you.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, these neurons are hardwired to imitate what we're observing.
And we're feeding them constantly.
Constantly.
So if you're constantly exposing yourself to lazy, complaint-filled, or mind-numbing content, you are likely going to reflect those qualities.
Absolutely.
But conversely, if you feed your mind, wisdom, discipline, positive outlook, you will embody that.
Yes. And the key point here
is
while you don't have control over the fact that your brain is constantly mirroring, you do have the power to choose what it mirrors.
And that's huge.
It is huge.
It is a huge point. I think, you know, your social media feeds, it's not just entertainment. It's literally a stream of brain programming that's happening every single moment.
Yes. It's happening as we speak.
I mean, we got to wake up to this.
We do.
We have to disrupt the doom scrolling.
Absolutely.
We got to take responsibility for what we consume because what we absorb is directly impacting.
And is shaping who we are.
Who we become.
Yes.
And it's important to note the algorithms that power most of these platforms, they're not designed with our growth or well-being as their primary objective.
They're designed to keep us engaged.
Yes.
As long as possible.
And they thrive on feeding us the distraction, the anxiety, the outrage.
Yes. And the reason is because that's what drives engagement.
Yes.
That's what drives their profitability.
We've become so accustomed to chasing those likes, the comments, the validation, but it's detrimental to our attention span.
Absolutely.
And our ability to focus.
And I think he really hit a nerve with this one.
Yeah.
You're not just the browser.
Yeah.
You're the product.
I mean, it's like the content is consuming us.
Yes.
Not us consuming the content.
That's a great way to put it.
And so what makes this even more concerning when you think about the impact of mirror neurons is they literally amplify this reality.
Yes. They readily absorb the negative emotions, the unproductive behaviors, embedding them deep in our subconscious.
Unless we make a conscious effort to take control, these algorithms are shaping our lives in ways we never intended. We can't let our sense of self be dictated by lines of code written in Silicon Valley.
No.
So this is where the power of curated media comes in. It's not about letting our brains sync with random low-quality inputs.
Right.
We can intentionally flood them with the content that aligns with the person we want to become.
That's right.
You know, he suggests creating a substantial visual collection.
I love that.
I know. I love this idea.
It's powerful, isn't it?
Yeah. It's like maybe on your Kindle.
Yes.
Just packed with the energy and the information that you want.
Yeah. And what I love about this idea is that, you're essentially feeding yourself.
Yeah.
And I think the really fascinating part is that you can experience automatic positive change just by feeding your mind with that kind of input.
Yeah.
It's almost like, if you think about it, your confidence starts to rise.
Yeah.
Your emotional state becomes stable.
Right.
Your behavior adjusts without feeling like a struggle.
Like you're not even trying. It's
Wow.
just happening.
It's beautiful.
So how do we break free from this?
Well, first of all, we have to become aware of what we are mirroring by default.
Right.
And then we have to make a really determined effort to change it.
And I love how you said determined.
Yeah.
Because it does take some effort.
It does, especially at the beginning, because you're breaking a pattern.
Right. So this is where, we delete accounts.
Yeah.
We unfollow sources that are feeding us negativity.
That's right. And we don't make excuses.
No excuses.
We just do it.
You just got to be ruthless.
Ruthless.
And then we curate our media.
We curate it, yes.
Surround ourselves with those voices that embody discipline, ambition, excellence.
Absolutely.
So we're following people who are living out those qualities, reading those books, immersing ourselves in that content.
Yes. And I think what's important here is that it's not just consuming it.
Right.
It's engaging in a process of mental mirroring.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. We watch the videos that sharpen our skills.
Right.
But we don't just watch them.
We absorb those patterns.
We absorb them.
Right. And then we
visualize ourselves moving with that confidence, acting with discipline.
Yeah.
Becoming that person.
See it, feel it, live it, right.
Exactly.
Oh.
Because if we don't, we're just going to slip further behind every single day.
Every single day. So I think we have to talk about this dopamine detox.
We do.
Because this is a big one. And I think, if we think we're immune to digital addiction, we are likely in some level of self-deception.
Yeah. I think that's right.
Because social media, the notifications, it's engineered to hijack our brains.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
So, we're unconsciously chasing that validation from likes, comments, external approval.
Right. And I think it's also easy to get sucked into the sensationalized clickbait.
Oh, yeah.
And the thing about that is it's affecting us in ways we don't even realize.
And it's affecting, as we said, our attention spans.
Yes.
Our discipline, our focus.
Yeah.
So it's not just about cutting back a little bit.
No, he says we need a full-on detox.
A detox.
Like you would in addiction.
Like an addiction. So this is like turning off notifications.
Yeah.
Limiting scrolling to very intentional, predefined sessions.
Yeah.
And replacing those digital habits with something more productive.
And I think it will be a struggle at first.
It will.
Because our brains are used to that stimulation.
They crave it.
And we might even feel a little withdrawal.
Oh.
But I think the benefit is worth it.
It is.
The time we gain.
The time.
The increase in productivity.
Right.
And the positive transformation in our mental well-being.
The peace.
The peace.
Yeah. And so this leads into the power of subliminal priming.
Yeah.
And I think this is fascinating.
It is.
Because most of us think we make decisions consciously based on logic.
Yeah.
But the reality is so many of our actions, our responses, our instincts were primed long before they ever reached that conscious level.
And subliminal priming is essentially your subconscious being influenced by signals you're not even aware of.
Right.
Things like images, sounds, emotional tone of voice.
It's crazy.
And they're all over the place.
So we are being bombarded with these subtle cues that are dictating our behavior.
Yeah. If you think about it, exposure to cues of fear will make us more cautious.
Right. Even though we don't register the fear.
Exactly.
And subtle suggestions of doubt can lead to struggle.
Yeah.
A well-crafted sales pitch can make us buy things without even thinking about it.
Absolutely.
And it's kind of like the vast majority of people are walking reactions
They are.
to these subliminal cues,
Yeah.
and they don't even know it's happening.
They're completely oblivious.
So strong individuals don't allow themselves to be passively programmed.
No.
They prime their subconscious
Yes.
deliberately.
Yes.
They take control of the information that enters their mental space.
Yes.
So they can control what comes out in
Yeah.
their thoughts and actions.
Absolutely.
So it's amazing to realize
Yes.
that our neurons don't even wait for us to think
Yeah.
they're anticipating
Yeah.
and reacting.
They are.
And that's why priming is so potent.
It is.
Right. We're constantly taking in
Yeah.
tone of voice, facial expressions,
Yeah.
emotional atmosphere of the media,
Yeah.
subliminal triggers and advertising. Like,
Yeah.
they're everywhere.
And those things become
Yeah.
the dominant signals
Yeah.
that our brain learns to follow.
And so if we're surrounded by things that promote negativity,
Uh-huh.
we're going to absorb that.
You're going to absorb it. Yeah.
Even if we're trying not to.
Yeah. And the inverse is true.
Okay.
If we expose ourselves to positivity,
Uh-huh.
control, power,
Yes.
we will mirror those qualities.
So the question becomes, if we're not controlling what's entering our subconscious,
Right.
who or what is?
Exactly.
And this leads to, this incredible opportunity to shape our lives.
About us.
To program ourselves for greater success, discipline,
Yeah.
excellence.
Yes.
And it starts with identifying
Right.
the habits, the empowering mindset that we want. Right.
Yeah.
And then we consume content that showcases those qualities.
That's right.
And then we visualize ourselves mirroring those behaviors.
See it, feel it, live it.
And it's not wishful thinking.
No, it's not.
Right. It's literally how our brains work.
It is. Yeah. And I think the key here is we have to be deliberate
Deliberate.
and intentional.
Yeah.
This is about consciously taking control
Yeah.
and priming our subconscious for success.
So we are either actively running a program
Yes.
or rewriting it.
That's right.
There's no in between.
There is no in between.
If we don't take control,
Yeah.
the neurons are just going to keep replaying the same
Yeah.
patterns of limitation.
And the beautiful thing is that, we interrupt those cycles.
Right.
We reinforce the new ones.
Yeah.
And our system adjusts.
Well, that's it for today. Thanks to Paul and Cindy for their great breakdown of these groundbreaking concepts. The book shows you how to take full control of the mirroring process. There's absolutely no fluff, just real-world strategies that anyone can use. You get all the tools, the options, and the direct steps to flip the script, once and for all. Don't miss out. This could be life-changing. Scan the QR code to get the link.